Bruno Guimaraes, the endless inspiration of Newcastle. Bruno Guimaraes is becoming the soul of Newcastle since joining the club in January 2022. Now, he is an endless inspiration for Newcastle. During the halftime break in the final second leg of the Brazilian National Cup, taking place in September 2019, Atlético Paranaense entered the second leg against Internacional with a 1-goal advantage. It was none other than Bruno Guimaraes who authored the only goal for Atlético. However, at the end of 45 minutes of the first half in the away rematch, Paranaense was held 1-1 by Internacional. Guimaraes' team was shaken when the opponent played overwhelmingly and full of determination. The atmosphere inside Paranaense's dressing room became stifling, unnaturally tense. The players understood that with just one more goal, Internacional would drag the match into a penalty shootout. Everyone was silent and stared at the floor. At this moment, Guimaraes stood up, breaking the silence. "If you're scared, just pass the ball to me. I'll play for you guys. You guys can count on me. But let me tell you this, we will leave the stadium with the trophy," Guimaraes said loudly. Bruno Guimaraes, then only 21 years old, was clearly still a boy in the eyes of many seniors in the team. However, he showed the tenacity and spirit of a true leader. Thiago Nunes, former head coach of Paranaense, recalled, "I got goosebumps when I heard Guimaraes' statement. It was an extraordinary thing for a child his age. It represents Guimaraes' personality and ambition. Those qualities have made Guimaraes very popular at Newcastle. The Brazilian midfielder is not only one of the best players of Chichiu, but also the spiritual leader of the club." The arrival of Guimaraes in St. James Park a year ago seemed to carry a message sent from the future. Now, Newcastle are gearing up for a string of crucial matches that will define their sublime season, and the Guimaraes can carry out their mission. He never shied away from the responsibilities that weighed heavily on his shoulders. Back with the Brazilian Cup final, Paranaense won the championship after Guimaraes' message. Guimaraes grew up in Engenho Novo, a modest residential area north of Rio de Janeiro. His father, Mr. Dick, worked as a taxi driver, and his mother Marcia, worked in a motorcycle dealership. By Brazilian standards, the whole family has a decent living. As a child, Guimaraes suffered from severe pneumonia twice. The doctor recommended that he take swimming lessons to be good for his lungs. However, Guimaraes was inherently obsessed with football. He was always out in the street with the ball at his feet. At the age of 5, Guimaraes started playing futsal at local club Nico. Here, he caught the eye of Mario Jorge, a young coach with whom he formed a strong relationship. They worked together at the U6, U9, U11, U12 levels and remain in touch to this day. After the initial shyness, Guimaraes gradually found confidence. He was invited to play for Flamengo's futsal team after impressing at Nico. At the weekend, Guimaraes will go for a barbecue with Jorge, who drags him into 3v3 matches in the neighborhood. In 2010, Guimaraes started playing 11-man football with a local club called Sendus, soon later renamed Al-Nassr. Before that, Guimaraes tried with Fluminense and Botafogo but failed. This is your chance to prove your ability. Gabriel Barreiro, who supported Jorge during his time at Al-Nassr, said, "Physically, Guimaraes is very thin and light. He's also not very technical and has never been a standout player at that age. The original Guimaraes running form was really a problem with swinging limbs. You have no idea how bad it is. We made Guimaraes do special exercises to improve movement. Today, it's a little better. It wasn't a particularly pretty run, but he got through it," Jorge said. After making his professional football debut at the age of 17, Bruno Guimaraes' career continued to advance. He then joined Paranaense before setting foot in Europe for Lyon in 2020. Now at Newcastle, Guimaraes is quickly becoming one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. the Brazilian may have had a few sleepless nights before choosing to join a club that was in a relegation battle 12 months ago, but looking back now, it seems like the right decision. Guimaraes not suspended for League Cup final. Despite having to receive a direct red card in the semi-final, but Guimaraes will not be suspended in the League Cup final when Newcastle face Mew. The match takes place on February 26. The reason is because according to the regulations of the BTC, the bans will be transferred to other domestic tournaments. Thus, a 3-match suspension will make Guimaraes absent from the matches against West Ham, Bournemouth, and Liverpool in the Premier League here, just enough for him to return for the final. Guimaraes happy when Newcastle promoted. Guimaraes insists he is happy that Newcastle are now seen by other clubs. I remember there was a time when many people said that playing against Newcastle would be 3 points, but now other teams want to draw with you. This shows that we have changed a lot. Newcastle are currently 4th in the Premier League and have reached the final of the League Cup.